A real honor. This is my first wedding in a hospital, and I'm happy to be doing this today. And to welcome you to this festive hospital room here on the unceded lands of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh Nations. I know that it's deeply meaningful to Barry and Stephen that you have made the time and the effort to be here, especially on such short notice. You are not only guests, but witnesses. So you get to listen closely to what Stephen and Barry are promising each other. And for those of you who are a regular part of their lives, you get to consider how you can support them as they continue to follow through on these commitments that they have already really had for each other for 34 years. My hope for all of us is that hearing stories about Stephen and Barry's love will inspire us to commit ourselves to do the hard and rewarding work of loving well and to celebrate all the places where love shows up in our lives. Okay, I'm going to cue the procession and we're ready to start.
Out there, I couldn't hear the beginning of the music, and I thought, you screwed up again. Sorry. I'm getting good at this. Imagine what I would do if you were in the journal.
Even at 2 minutes, it's too long. It's a short procession.
Hey, when I worked at AB Sound, you try to convince people that 4 minutes is some thought, oh, that's not long enough for me to come down the aisle. Yeah, if you're at another church, it is.
Yeah, I need a long aisle. Well, Stephen and Barry, thank you for inviting all of us here to witness this important milestone in your lives and to celebrate this lifetime of love between the two of you. Before you say I do to one another, I want to briefly reflect on your relationship so far and frame the commitments that you're about to make. I think it's everyone's deep desire to be both fully known and fully loved. When someone knows us all the way down, all the parts we're proud of, and maybe some of the parts we're not as proud of, and when that person still loves us and takes joy in us, we become alive in a new way. The two of you have known and loved each other since Christmas Eve 1991, almost exactly 34 years ago. Stephen, in 1991, you were newly out and a little too introverted to meet people in the clubs, so you ran a personal ad in the West Ender. Barry, your straight friend Anne, was on the lookout for dates for you, and she circled 5 ads in the West Ender, but put stars next to Stephen's name. So you called Stephen from Nanaimo on Christmas Eve and you talked for an hour. And then you asked him to call back after 11 when the long distance was cheaper. Do you remember those days? And on New Year's Day, Barry, you took the ferry over to Vancouver and the two of you went for lunch at an Indian restaurant in Gastown. And Barry, you told Stephen how much you loved his smile. When you returned to work, your colleague April asked how it went, Barry, and you said, I think there might be something with this guy. And she said, how did you act? And you said, like myself. And she said, and he still wanted to go out with you?
I'll never forget.
The two of you tried out long distance dating for a few months, seeing each other once or twice a month. But after several of these trips to and from the ferry terminals, Stephen, you said, Barry, why don't you move in with me? And on June 27th, 1992, you kicked your roommate out and Barry moved into the place. Barry moved into the place that both of you still live in, just over on Davie. It would take a long time to detail the events of the last 34 years and all of what you lived through together, including working for the same company, getting fired on the same day, supporting each other through bypass surgeries, watching the West End change around you. So I want to comment more on the everyday aspect of your lives and the way that you relate to each other. When we met a few days ago, you two described yourselves to me as an odd couple. You told me that you're utterly different from one another. Barry is an extrovert, chatting up strangers at parties, anybody. Stephen is an introvert and prefers to befriend the cat at the party. When it comes to music, Barry likes jazz, classic pop, and Broadway, while Stephen prefers industrial, electronic, and experimental music. Stephen prefers watching sci-fi and the occasional horror movie, but Barry hates being asked to suspend belief in reality. Except, of course, when it comes to the soap operas he watches. Though Stephen eventually gets interested enough in the storylines that he starts following some of these soaps as well. Stephen carefully loads the dish rack in an organized fashion, while Barry simply throws whatever onto the rack.
It fits.
Stephen makes the bed to perfection, after which Barry delights in deliberately creating wrinkles. And partly because of these different personalities and interests, the two of you also have very different circles of friends. In fact, for a few of you here, I hear that after these 34 years, today is your first time meeting either Barry or Stephen. Some of you have always doubted the other person's existence, and I'm still wondering whether this is real. How much did you pay this poor guy to pretend to be Stephen, right? Personally, I love the way that you each have valued different friendships and the way you show a capacity to love each other without fully overlapping all parts of your lives. I love that you can coexist in a room together, doing separate things and enjoying them. And I love that you haven't tried to change the other person to make him more like yourself. As Barry puts it, your differences are what give you so many things to talk about. And sometimes they're things that you admire in one another. Stephen, as the more analytical one, you especially appreciate Barry's emotional awareness. And Barry, you love that Stephen invites you to think about things that you've never thought about before. Now, both of you had almost exactly the same thought just a couple weeks ago when Barry woke up after 10 days unconscious. During those 10 days, of course, Stephen had been painfully aware of how precarious life can be and how much more vulnerable it is when partners don't have official status for decision making. He had been thinking of proposing when Barry awoke. And when Barry woke up, his memory was quite fuzzy. He forgot where he and Stephen lived or whether or not they were married. So hedging his bets, he took Stephen's hand and said, "Will you marry me?" And Stephen, surprised, said, "Yes, I've been thinking the same thing." And Barry cried in relief that he hadn't forgotten a past wedding day with Stephen and that he can now be fully alert for this important moment. Your wedding today is all about seizing the day, refusing to wait or to take any more time for granted, but rather choosing to tenaciously celebrate the life you've shared so far and every moment you have left to share together. And even though you've lived long enough to develop plenty of self-knowledge and knowledge of the other person, there's still parts of each of you yet to be revealed. New things that you'll bring out in each other with each unfolding day that you spend in each other's presence. So today we honor your love. You've both become even better versions of yourselves because of the love you've given each other. You've been becoming more fully alive. You've been faithful witnesses of each other's lives. And with this ceremony, you declare your intention to continue to choose each other day after day. It's a high calling, but after 34 years of practice, we're confident you're on the right track. So Barry and Stephen, thank you so much for inviting all of us here to celebrate with you, to congratulate you for the life and the love that you've already built together, and to join you in kicking off this next act of your story. We know that no matter what happens next, love will always have the last word. Now, I believe both of you would like to say a few words to one another. Stephen, maybe you can go first, and then Barry can go second and upstage you.
It's going to happen anyway.
I haven't prepared anything, so I'm just winging this off the top of my head. For the long time, I never really thought too much about marriage as something we needed to have. It seemed like an institution that it didn't add anything to what I felt for him or my commitment to him or what we did in our daily lives. It didn't seem like it would change anything. But then reality kind of came up and kicked me in the head and said, you could lose this guy. And when I looked that monster in the eyes, I realized that there was something to this institution that meant something to our relationship as well as providing us with some protections in a practical sense in terms of being able to make sure that the world around us recognizes our relationship and respects our ability to represent each other in crisis. So with that, I knew as he was struggling to stay alive that if I had a chance to make this commitment, it had to happen now. So that's why we're here today and why I've moved heaven and earth to make sure that this day happens today. And Barry, there's no life I can imagine without you. I could sooner imagine a life without my right arm than imagine a life without you. We'd not be very balanced. We complete each other in this strange way. It's like, if there's any example of someone being the parts of me that I didn't come equipped with already, that's what we are to each other.
I wanted to say, excuse me, I still have trouble sometimes speaking. I wanted to say this to you for quite a while, and knowing how much you detest most musicals, no, it's not the song. It's not from Chicago. I'm not doing the song.
All that jazz right there.
It was a song that I started to do when I was in the hospital, but it was just, it's too big of a song to do. There are no jazz hands in this. This is going to be hard for me, but I have to do it.
All right.
There's a little song in one of the best known musicals, The Sound of Music, and most people don't remember it because they remember, and as I think I told Gail, I'm not going to do The Lonely Goatherd, even though everyone knows that one. There's marionettes coming out of everywhere, or Do Re Mi, or Climb Every Mountain. But there's a little song that the captain, Christopher Plummer, and Maria, Julie Andrews sing when they finally realize they are in love and they are for each other. And I have thought about what I've been through in my life. I've had some bad times, a lot of bullying and taunting from kids and stuff, but those are only moments in a life that is longer and has a lot more better moments. And this song reflects how I feel. And I do hope I can get through this. Every time I practiced it, I couldn't get through the last half. It's very short. You don't have to worry. I know I have a bad habit of doing 7-minute introductions to 2-minute songs. And my friends go, get on with it.
Digressing.
Anyway, the song that you might not know is called Something Good. Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable youth. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable past, there must have been a moment of truth. And here's the line I can't get through. For here you are, standing there, loving me, whether or not you should. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good.
Well done. Thanks for the privilege of listening in on that.
You should have heard me practicing when I had no voice. Oh,
Probably
God.
the nurses have heard it already.
Yeah, a lot of them don't remember the song. Some of my friends said, oh, that song, but they don't know the name.
It's a good
And when
one.
I was doing it, they couldn't tell.
Yeah. So this is the part of the ceremony where we usually exchange rings. And I think you have something to say about that, Stephen.
I have a little something here.
Oh, my.
Barry thought there were no rings, just to clarify.
I wanted to kind of include our parents who are both passed, and found ways to represent them in various ways. I have my mother next to my heart. have, oh, come on, Dad. I have my father, his passport.
I never forget his dad.
This used to belong to Barry's mother.
When my mother had a heart attack, my dad wanted to buy her something, and that was what. And my mom, my dad, when my mom died, my dad said, "I want you to have it."
And this is your father's ring. We thank Karen for bringing it for
I
us.
had no idea about this.
And my ring, this will be for you to wear. And the ring I will wear belonged to my great uncle Fred.
Son,
Yes. So,
Great. Why don't you
This ring to me.
take each other's rings? Let me preface this for a
Okay.
second. So these are going to be symbols of your commitments, and as you exchange them, I have a question for each of you. And from what you've already said and sung, I think we can guess the answer, but we're still going to ask. So I'll start with you this time, Barry. Just remember the response we're looking for is "I do." And we'll just get settled and take a breath before we start, and then I'll ask the question. And
I'm
then-
sorry, I'm turning this into a burlesque.
No, it's a good show so far, I guess. So I'm going to start with you, and then I'll ask the question, and then you can give Stephen his ring. So do you, Barry, continue to choose Stephen as your partner in life and now in marriage, staying by his side in sickness and in health, in joy and in sorrow, in hardship and in ease, cherishing and loving him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Thank you. You can give him his ring.
And make sure you give me the right answer because I'm terrible. Not that I've had practice.
And do you, Stephen, continue to choose Barry as your partner in life and now in marriage, staying by his side in sickness and in health, in joy and in sorrow, in hardship and in ease, cherishing and loving him for as long as you both shall live?
sure.
I was going to do that. I was actually going to say nah.
Go ahead.
Oh, it fits. It fits.
I can wear his shoes, which I did a lot, and I can wear his ring.
There you go. Well, we're going to take just a quick moment to sign the paperwork. Stephen's favorite part. He's been busy working for paperwork for the last month, getting all the
I love
important documents
paperwork.
filed. We're going to need 2 volunteers to sign as our witnesses. We got one here.
Ross and Gail are going to be our
Perfect. Excellent.
witnesses
Okay.
for all the
There's
paperwork.
more paperwork to sign later, so we're just going to do the marriage license right now. The rest of you can just chat quietly for a couple of minutes, and then when we're done, we're going to close the ceremony with our big pronouncement. So if you could just grab the papers there, Stephen. Okay, start first. So it's going to be right here. Another spot. That's a pretty good signature, I'd say. You don't need an auto pen.
No, not Trump's anymore.
Okay, and then it's gonna be that little X right there, so a small signature. Great.
It is really hard for me to do it.
I think that's perfectly acceptable. All right, Stephen.
So my turn.
Just right there. Okay, and one more
My
spot.
signature is worse than his.
Just that top X over there. Yeah. Excellent. And our witnesses. So if you could print your name on top and sign underneath. Great. And one more spot. Sorry. This time it's the signature here and printed next to it over there. First and then documents.
I think
Get
they
signed.
invented the X for me because I can never find where I'm supposed to sign.
Okay. So if you want to do signature there, signature there, yeah. This time it's
I got the bling ring, which is like,
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you so much. And I've already signed. so
There's
we're good to
no
go.
value I could put on this one.
Mhm. So just as a heads up, it is rather hard to kiss with two different levels like this, so we're gonna substitute an embrace
Oh,
for
jump in my
now.
lap. Why not? I'd really like that. I'd be in here another year.
Well, Stephen and Barry, may the words you've spoken here become a living truth in your lives. May you continue standing or sitting there, loving each other, whether or not you should. May you enjoy many more days and years together, many more chances for Barry to belt out show tunes in the apartment, and hopefully to finally publish that Tony-winning play, while Stephen keeps your lives organized and grounds you both with the quiet care that he shows. May your home keep filling up with hundreds of Barry's teddy bears, and Stephen, may your patience abound when wrinkles appear on your bedspread. In the words of Diana Ross, who I know Barry was hoping might show up to sing today,
You never know.
may you hold on together, knowing your dreams will never die. May dreams see you through forever, where clouds roll by. And may the love that's brought you together expand beyond what you can now imagine. May it open up new worlds of possibility and joy as you venture into your future, hand in hand. Barry and Stephen, having witnessed your commitments to one another for 34 years, and now through these expressions of love and intention, symbolized in the exchange of rings, in the presence of these excited witnesses, it is my honor to pronounce you husband and husband. You may embrace. Thanks again for being here, everyone. You can feel free to come congratulate and hang out for a little while. I think there's more paperwork to sign.
Yes. Getting it all done
Get
today.
it all done today. And thanks to the staff for creating this space for us.
Yeah,
It's been
thank you
great
very
seeing
much.
you.
And thank you for
It's been so lovely
nailing
to be
it.
part of it. Thank you.
Perfect.
Awesome.